Heartbreak wears many faces. It can show up as the heavy grief of loss or the fiery sting of betrayal. And in those moments of confusion and pain, a question often arises: why did Allah allow such people into my life? Is it to break me, to crush my spirit? What could possibly be the wisdom in this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, "Accept what comes naturally, command what is right, and turn away from the ignorant." When this verse was revealed, the Prophet ﷺ turned to Jibreel alayhi salam and asked what it meant in full. Jibreel alayhi salam responded, "I do not know until I ask my Lord." Then he returned and said, "Verily, Allah commands you to uphold ties with those who cut you off, to give to those who withhold from you, and to forgive those who wrong you." Years later, when Ali radiallahu anh was entrusted with the Prophet ﷺ's sword after his passing, he found those very words engraved upon it: "Forgive those who wrong you, reconnect with those who break ties with you, show excellence to those who mistreat you, and speak the truth even if it is against yourself." The one who placed mercy over wrath on his divine throne sent a Prophet ﷺ, whose sword and instrument of warfare bore words of reconciliation and grace. And while we may admire this noble example, embodying it is far more difficult. Just look at the forgiveness of Yusuf alayhi salam toward the brothers who cast him into a well, or the Prophet ﷺ immense mercy toward those who abused and persecuted him. This noble character wasn't exclusive to prophets. It extended to the best of companions. Take Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. When a man he supported financially slandered his daughter Aisha radiallahu anha, Allah revealed, "Let them pardon and overlook. Do you not wish that Allah should forgive you?" People can be among life's greatest blessings and its deepest sources of pain. Allah is fully aware of how hard it is to restrain yourself when wronged, yet He says, "Whoever practices patience and forgives, that is indeed the firmest resolve." True character doesn't appear when people treat us well. It reveals itself in how we respond to those with bad character. Can you hold your tongue when provoked? Continue striving in Allah's path even when unappreciated? Serve others with sincerity even when they show no gratitude? The co-workers who test your patience, the relatives who hurt you repeatedly, none of them are random. They've been placed in your life through divine wisdom. You're not asked to love oppression. But understand this: the strength and resolve you discover within yourself through that oppression is part of your spiritual growth. Even Shaitan's existence is part of a greater design to elevate the believer. So how about those around you? Through the people who hurt you, you access a new level of Iman if you can respond with restraint or even kindness. Ibn al-Qayyim outlined several keys for overcoming heartbreak and betrayal. The first key is to recognize that people, like other trials in life, sickness, poverty, or pain, are also a test. Many endure physical tests because they understand their purpose. But when wronged by others, they forget that this too is part of Allah's decree. The second key is to choose patience over retaliation. He wrote that patience is rewarded without limit. Indeed, the patient will be given their reward without measure. Acts of worship are rewarded proportionally, but patience receives no boundaries in its reward. In this world, it leads to inner tranquility. Revenge, on the other hand, often brings regret and may cause us to sin in response to someone else's wrongdoing. However, that doesn't mean victims should be told to just be patient. Justice must come first. Then, when a person is secure, they can be encouraged to choose nobility over vengeance. The third key is to understand that when you show goodness to someone who's wronged you, Allah shows you His mercy despite your own flaws. Ibn al-Qayyim shares a powerful line of poetry: "For your sake, O Allah, I have laid my cheek on the ground before the one who slanders me and envies me so that you may be pleased. We humble our foreheads to the ground in sujood, but to metaphorically lower our ego before those who insult us solely for Allah's pleasure is an even deeper humility." The fourth key is to work toward a heart free from resentment, what scholars call salamat as-sadr. When you truly accept Allah's qadr, your heart begins to let go of grudges. And sometimes all it takes to believe that's possible is hearing from someone who went through something worse and came out with more faith, not less. They were hurt, but through that hurt, they were elevated. There's a beautiful example from the Prophet ﷺ's life. Once he pointed to a man and said, "This is a man of paradise." Abdullah bin Amr radiallahu anhu followed him to learn his secret, but the man wasn't known for extra prayer or fasting. Instead, he had one powerful habit. Every night before sleeping, he forgave everyone who wronged him. No grudges, no hate. That alone can bring a person to paradise. Why? Because a clean heart sleeps free of spiritual diseases, anger, envy, vengeance, and is open to the remembrance of Allah. A heart at peace during Fajr is more beloved than a heart that prays all night yet burns with hate. Sometimes the only thing your heart needs is time. Just like you wait for the fruits of your dua, sometimes you must wait for your heart to heal before you can understand the wisdom behind your pain. Allah swears by time. And the Prophet ﷺ taught us that Allah is Ad-Dar. He created and controls time itself. With patience, time can soften even the deepest wounds and bring serenity to even the most restless soul. Eventually, you may tell your story with perspective, not pain. Healing takes effort. No matter where you are in the process of heartbreak, remember the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. When do you think he chose to forgive? When he first saw his brothers after years? When they returned again? Or had he already cleansed his heart long before so that forgiveness was waiting even before their remorse? That is the ultimate goal, to rise above the pettiness of others and step into your higher self when you're surrounded by their lower selves. A wise saying goes, you may be in a low state, but being around someone worse than you reminds you of your own goodness. But if we let heartbreak harden us, it can turn into bitterness. That bitterness becomes anger, and anger, if left unchecked, can lead to actions we'll regret for a lifetime or even for eternity. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu once said, "The beginning of anger is madness, and its end is remorse." That's why the Prophet ﷺ advised us to stay silent in anger, to make wudu, and to seek refuge in Allah when we feel the flames rising. Rage is from the shaitan, who is made from fire, and fire consumes everything around it unless it's controlled. In choosing patience, you choose peace. In choosing forgiveness, you choose freedom. In choosing to please Allah over your ego, you unlock your highest self.